sleeping so much longer. But I mean, literally keep the thing going and develop tall. Yeah,
very tall.
yeah. It'll take him some time to
Having
develop
some extra stuff, just its own body weight.
Exactly. Yeah. I try to figure out immediately what's the hard shot for my opponent to hit when they are with the wind. Well, if they're with the wind, trying to hit a low shot, because the wind's going to take their shot and it's going to sail long. And when I'm with the wind, it's tough for them to get the ball back over the net, so I'm going to play it high. So I think that sometimes we feel that with the wind we have to be really aggressive. Not necessarily true. With the wind you must not miss. And the aggressive part, the wind takes care of the aggressive part, right? It's helping you. So you hit a shot in the middle of the court and the wind is with you, the ball takes off. So somehow figure out how the wind can be your help you instead of being your enemy. And again, it's so important not to show frustration when there's any kind of adversity. It could be your opponent, it could be in this day, it's the circumstances, the wind, or the sun.
Or the crowd.
Or the crowd, whatever it may be.
Or someone who maybe grunts loudly, or makes a bad call, or whatever. A parent is being slightly, maybe you feel someone's coaching the opponent. None of it is to bother you. You are impenetrable. I think that's a good word.
Yeah. Very rarely are the conditions perfect, and if the conditions aren't perfect, how can you expect yourself to be perfect? So today, there is no way any one of us is going to be perfect. We can only try and be as perfect as the circumstances allow us to be, or the environment. But when it's indoors, no sun, no wind, sometimes, yeah, we can put pressure on yourself to hit the perfect shot because nothing's going to disturb it. But here today, it's all about keeping the ball in play and try and frustrate the hell out of the person on the other side of the net. And even if it's your friend, pat him on the shoulder afterwards. Let's try and make your opponent feel as awful as possible in the wind, right? It's a cruel game, though, isn't it? In that way. But have fun, enjoy it, instead of fighting it. Would be my advice.
What do you guys like more, drilling or playing?
I used to love to play sets more than anything when I was playing on the tour. I drill some, but I love to play practice sets. Maybe that's one reason my shoulder had a little problem, because I probably did more serving and I relied on my serve a lot. But I love to compete. I love to, even though I got, I was pretty emotional on the court, but I love to feel the pressure trying to hold serve at 4 or 5 down. More in practice than maybe out in front of 15,000 people. But in order to be comfortable in big situations, to me, you had to play a lot of practice sets. Actually, it was one of the few questions I asked this morning of coaches: what percentage of the time nowadays at the elite level is spent playing practice sets? I think it's really important.
Oh, very important. I mean, you get the question from some amateurs this morning, if I may call them that, is I struggle in the big points. Well, how do you define a big point? Right? The big points is not always it's 4-all and deuce. I mean, that's an obvious big point for everyone included. Everybody chokes at 4-all and deuce. But the people that choke the least are the ones that have played the most big points leading up to 4-all and deuce. So a big point would be 1-0 up in the first set and you're love 30. If you can get love 40, suddenly you're possibly breaking, going up 2-0, right? And then you have to start thinking, okay, 2-0, that makes me very relaxed. I can go 3-0. And how many sets have you lost if you've been up 3-0? Most probably less than you won, right? So suddenly you win the first set. How many matches have you lost if you win the first set? Less than I've won, right? So the big points start very early in sets, and in a windy day like this, they're all big points. Like, try and build. Somebody said that win 3 points in a row. That's a good target. If you win 3 points in a row, good things happen at any time in the match. So big points, don't think of them as 4-all and deuce or 5-all in the breaker. It's too late to think about big points. So they, again, back to playing a lot of sets, really important. Make them all count.
Yeah, make them all count. I feel like maybe in the years since Mats and I retired from the tour, sometimes I feel like the value of each point isn't what it used to be. In other words, you see the amount of unforced errors, and I know power is a big part of the game now at all levels. I understand that. So with big power, it's going to be more unforced errors. But I feel like the upcoming generations are actually starting to circle back again, being really thoughtful about constructing points, knowing what your strengths are on the court, when the pressure's really on, having 3 or 4 set kinds of points that you know you like to play, like a certain serve out wide and then a hit into the open court, or just certain go-to shots that you love to play at certain situations. It's okay. You be aware. Everybody has their patterns on the court. It's okay to have winning patterns, winning plays. So value the points. Let these unforced errors. Let us see as commentators in the next generation of players. Let us see the unforced errors come down, and the thoughtful point construction, strategies, tactics come back into the game. I think that's where it's headed, and I think it's centers like this that's making it happen.
So hey guys, after this talk, we have an hour and a half. What should we do? Huh? Should we do tossing drills, dead ball feeding, or maybe do something else? What should we do? Huh? It might be difficult. We are big center, we have a lot of courts, but we have so many of you guys. We might not be able to play sets, but let's play what?
Doubles.
Some doubles. And at least let's play a lot of different kinds of situational points. Let's get a lot of points. Coaching staff has put you guys on the courts. Let's get on the courts, let's get a great warm-up, and then we start to play points. Okay?
Love points.
You guys ready?
Yo.
Okay.
All right, nice. Grab your racket and line up right here.